In this video lecture, we will discuss about Vinogradeschi column. Use of Vinogradeschi column in studying microbial diversity in soil. As we know that every ecological niche that provide certain bacteria to survive. Vinogradeschi column is an enclosed self-sustaining microbial system in that we use the bacteria from pond mud to create and study mini ecosystem called Vinogradeschi column in laboratory. That we will see. First of all, we will start with introduction. Russian microbiologist Sergei Vinogradeschi first developed a simple technique to demonstrate microbial communities and their interaction. Sergei Vinogradeschi is the first one to develop and to demonstrate the microbial communities and their interaction. He is the founder of soil microbiologist. He is the founder of soil microbiology. This column may be used to study to demonstrate the aspect of the earliest sulfur-based life form found on the earth. Materials and the methods that are required to construct the Vinogradeschi column in the laboratory that we will see. Material needed for the construction of this column, which means that Vinogradeschi column, it is as simple and common, that includes clean glass, pond mud, sulfur source such as calcium sulfate and magnesium sulfate, inorganic carbon source such as calcium carbonate, cellulosic waste or plant tissues. Here we can take paper as an example of cellulosic waste, pond water. These all are the ingredients that we require to construct the Vinogradeschi column in laboratory. First of all, we have to take a clean glass cylinder. In that, first of all, after taking the clean glass cylinders, we have to take a pond mud. In that, we have to mix all the ingredients such as sulfur source, inorganic carbon source, cellulosic waste, and then we have to fill in this column. After filling in this column, then we have to pour a water. After pouring the water, then we have to expose this column under the sunlight, in the presence of sunlight and in the room temperature. And we have to examine every week to change the color that we have to record. That we will see here. Mix all ingredient in column. First add mud in the bottom of the column and then all other ingredient, mix it well and add water, which means pond water. Now this column is exposed to the daylight and incubate at room temperature. Examine the column weekly for a month. At every week we have to examine and we have to record the change in the color as they occur. For the Vinogradeschi column to be successful, enough time must be given, allow for the culture development. We have to give enough time for the culture development. The column may show growth in a week as indicated by the formation of black color near the bottom and breakdown of cellulose, that is paper. After some week, that will shows the black color near to the bottom, that indicates that there is a breakdown of cellulose, that is paper. Nutrient cycling in the column. After a month or a 6 week, The column should be stabilized into 3 distinct zones and develop the communities of bacteria specific to their environmental requirements. After some week or a month, the entire column that will get stabilized into 3 distinct zones and develop the communities of bacteria. That column will develop a communities of bacteria specific to their environmental requirements. This is the column that will develop a 3 distinct zone such as aerobic zone, microaerophilic zone and anaerobic zone. In the bottom there will be the anaerobic zone, then there will be the microaerophilic zone we will found, and here we will found aerobic zone. 3 distinct zones that we will found, that will establish after some month or some week. We will see what are the things happening in that zone. In anaerobic zone, first we will see anaerobic zone. In the deepest layer, obligate anaerobic organisms will grow. Anaerobic cellulose degraders such as Clostridium. Anaerobic cellulose degraders such as Clostridium. Clostridium that will degrade cellulose. That cellulose will break down into glucose, and glucose is further by fermenting glucose they will produce organic acid and gas. In this zone, sulfur reducing bacteria can also grow, for example such as Disulphotomaculum and Disulfovibrio. Sulfur reducing bacteria will utilize organic acid which is produced by Clostridium. Organic acid will serve as an electron donor. This organic acid which is produced by the Clostridium, that will be utilized by the sulfur reducing bacteria, the examples such as Disulphotomaculum and Disulfovibrio. This can serve, organic acid will serve as an electron donor. Sulfur reducing bacteria in anaerobic respiration, they use sulfate or sulfide to produce H2S which diffuse through the column. It is a very simple thing. In the deepest layer that we will found anaerobic zone, Clostridium that will degrade the cellulose into glucose, and glucose is further break down into organic acid and gas. This organic acid will serve as an electron donor for the sulfur reducing bacteria. The sulfur reducing bacteria examples are Disulphotomaculum and Disulfovibrio. This sulfur reducing bacteria will utilize this organic acids, and this organic acid is further converted into H2S, and now this H2S gas will diffuse through the column. Suppose this is our glass column. In that, here we will found anaerobic zone, and now at last what has been diffused? H2S gas. This will diffuse in the column like from bottom to the top. H2S gas will be diffused. H2S gas produce that will react with iron and form black ferrous sulfide. Large amount of H2S, it has been diffused, that will react with iron and form black ferrous sulfide. H2S diffused into column also leads to the growth of green sulfur bacteria and purple sulfur bacteria. They are anoxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. Anoxygenic photosynthetic bacteria, that is green sulfur bacteria and purple sulfur bacteria. H2S what has been diffused in the column that will leads to that allow the growth of green sulfur bacteria and purple sulfur bacteria. Purple sulfur bacteria example that is chromatium, and green sulfur bacteria examples such as chlorobium. Use H2S as an electron donor to reduce carbon dioxide. Purple sulfur bacteria and green sulfur bacteria that will use H2S which has been diffused in the column, use as an electron donor to reduce carbon dioxide. Now the carbon dioxide plus H2S that will form carbohydrate and liberate sulfur. From bottom to the top, green sulfur bacteria such as chlorobium create an olive green color zone, while PSB, that is purple sulfur bacteria such as chromatium, create red to purple zone. We will after some times, after some month or a week, that will create some zone and we observe some color changes such as olive green color zone for the green sulfur bacteria, red to purple color zone for the purple sulfur bacteria. In green sulfur bacteria cells, sulfur is deposited outside the cell, and purple sulfur bacteria cell, sulfur is deposited inside the cell. Microaerophilic zone. Purple non-sulfur bacteria such as Rhodospirillum and Rhodopseudomonas usually require a small amount of oxygen. They are microaerophilics. They require oxygen but in a very less concentration. They are located near to the top of the column than are the green sulfur bacteria and purple sulfur bacteria. They are located near to the top of the column. Growth of this purple non-sulfur organism result in the bright red or dark rust red color. Here we observe some bright red or dark rust red color. They are facultative phototropes. Purple non-sulfur bacteria, they are the facultative phototropes. They use sulfide at low level. They use H2 as an electron donor in photosynthesis. Now the third zone that we will find, that is aerobic zone. The aerobic sulfur metabolizing bacteria such as Thiobacillus, Thiothrix and Beggiatoa, they develop in the upper portion of the column. In the upper column, we will find the aerobic sulfur metabolizing bacteria. They oxidize reduce sulfur compound to produce sulfate and obtain energy. Reduced sulfur compound example, that is we can take an example such as FeS, H2S, elemental sulfur, SO3 minus into SO4 plus accumulation of the sulfur. In the top of the water column, aerobic organisms are found. Protozoa are found in the larger number. Cyanobacteria are also found. They are oxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. Cyanobacteria is the oxygenic phototropes. The things that we have to remember in the Winogradsky column, that is, first we have seen the introduction part. The scientist who had developed this, that name is Sergei Winogradsky, is the founder of soil microbiology. The things that we required to construct the Winogradsky column, first, that is Winogradsky column means clean glass cylinder that we required. In that First of all, we require the pond mud. In that we mix all the carbon source, sulfur source and pond water, paper, etc. and then we mix and we put into the column, and then we add the excess pond water. Then we expose this in the presence of daylight at room temperature, and after week we observe the color change. Then what we have to things remember, after some week or a month, that will develop a 3 distinct zone, that is anaerobic, that will found at the bottom, then microaerophilic, and then at the top aerobic zone will be found. In the aerobic zone we found some bacteria, then in microaerophilic we will found there is some communities of bacteria in anaerobic zone. In anaerobic zone, the things that we have to remember, that is a Clostridium that will break down the cellulose that we have taken as a paper as a cellulose source, carbon source, that will break down the cellulose into glucose. Glucose will further break down to the organic acid and gas. Further, this organic acids will utilized by the sulfur bacteria, sulfur reducing bacteria, that will use as an electron donor, and then it will liberate H2S. H2S that will liberate, that will diffuse in the column from the bottom to the top, and oxygen that will diffuse in the column from the top to the bottom, like this way. Suppose this is the column and here there is the 3 zones. From here H2S will diffuse from bottom to the top, and oxygen will diffuse from the top to the bottom, because we are exposing at the room temperature in the presence of sunlight. So oxygen will diffuse in the column from top to the bottom, and H2S will diffuse in the column from bottom to the top.